go all the way back to how you become a truck driver. You go to a truck driver training school. You generally go for a couple of months. But on day one, you're going to be recruited by trucking companies.
There are around 3.5 million truckers in the United States. Their average salary is close to $60,000 a year. Training to get your Class A commercial driver's license takes about 7 weeks if you go full-time. You will also need to be 21 if you plan to drive across state lines.
But as long as you're responsible and you get the loads there on time and you drive safely, you're going to have the job for the rest of your life, where you're going to get a 401k, you're going to get paid time off, you're going to get, including vacations and holidays, you're going to get health care. It's a job where you don't need a college education, and you're going to make, starting out, if you're starting out, you should be making close to $50,000 a year.
Trucking also comes in many shapes and sizes. That includes delivery vans, dump trucks, the 18-wheelers you see on the highway, and everything in between. Drivers also fall into 3 categories: local drivers who take short trips, regional drivers who will stick to an area of the country, and OTR, or over-the-road truckers who crisscross the 50 states.
I've been driving now, a trucker, for just a little bit over 30 years. Actually started in the United States Army. That's where I got my beginning.
Lewis is a local driver and starts every morning on the dock helping to load trucks.
I get my route, and it's going to be something different every day. I may be going to 60 miles away from Montgomery, or I may just be right around here in Montgomery. I prefer to be somewhere close by. I love delivering in the city. It's, I guess for me, it's a little easier. If something happened, my wife needs me, hey, I'm right here in Montgomery.
Not every driver gets to go home at night. Many drivers spend the majority of their time out on the road. April Coolidge is a regional driver in the Southeast.
I do stay in my truck. I work 5 days, and sometimes if they need me, I'll work 6 days. So I stay out on the road 5, maybe 6 days a week, and then I'm home either 1 or 2 days a week. So I'm living in my truck all of those days that I'm out on the road.
Coolidge says that the coronavirus shutdown has her working extra hours and amplifies some of the hardships many drivers have always faced.
So there's no restrooms and things like that we have access to, or that we had before. A lot of the vendors, companies, they'll put out porta-johns outside, their buildings. So that's what we're having to use in those situations. And as far as food, it's very hard for a driver to get a meal out here on the road because all the restaurants are closed. There's nowhere to escape, to get out of your truck and go in and sit down at a restaurant, just have a little downtime.
One trucking company in the Northeast says it's had a tough time finding enough drivers to keep its 7 trucks on the road during the shutdown.
I could actually use probably another couple more drivers and, be able to keep the trucks rolling a little bit more than what we are right now because, we have to abide by federal hours of service regulations. So each one of the drivers is only allowed to work 70 hours a week, and that's all inclusive of everything that they do. Their driving time, the hours that they spend fueling and hooking up the trailers and doing their inspections and all of that kind of stuff.
Before the coronavirus, the trucking industry projected it would be short 160,000 drivers by 2028. Costello says those numbers may change after the outbreak, but the industry still needs to solve 2 problems. The first is the average age of drivers.
Where you bring on the new people coming into the industry, the average age is 46 or 47. And if you go to a truck driver training school, what you'll find is the average age of a person getting trained to become a truck driver is over 30 years old. Now, remember, you have to be 21 years old to drive interstate freight across state lines.
Not taking advantage of the full workforce is the other part of the problem.
And then the other demographic issue we have is while females are nearly 50% of the labor force, they're only 6% of all drivers. So that's another issue. So we're missing out on a pretty big part of the labor force.
The industry also isn't forgiving. You need to keep a perfect driving record and pass regular drug tests, or you'll be out of work.
Now, I will tell you, if you get in an accident or you're speeding or you're driving recklessly, you're not going to make it in the industry. They will cut bait and you will be gone, and it's going to be difficult to get hired.
Costello admits the long hours and time away from home aren't for everyone. but he says the jobs are there for anyone who wants them.
Invest in you. Ready, set, grow. CNBC and Acorns.